Welcome to tonight's show. We have a very, very special broadcast. We're in our fall lineup, and what we're trying to do is try to get the most best broadcasters that we have together to get for you. I wanted to first announce some changes that we did to Rev Media TV platform. If you're a church ministry out there trying to do your broadcasting and you've been using other services, I want to invite you to RevMediaTV.com. You need to come out to us. You're going to see, first of all, you're going to see nothing but Christian videos on the site. The second thing you're going to see is many churches coming together, all different types of denominations of faith of God. None of us have all things for all men. It takes a lot of us to be able to go out there and minister. You know, the Bible says that Paul watered while Apollo put seeds out there. And what we have to believe is that each of us are out there doing our part, but we can't all reach everyone. So we've got to depend on each other. We've got to work together. And that's what Rev Media TV is. And thirdly, I want to tell you that we've lowered our package, and you need to go to the site to see it's a $50 all package in deal. I'm getting people signing up left and right. It's exciting because we're able to bring this broadcast to you. We unlock the Roku. We're going to unlock the WordPress when we get it in there. We're going to unlock the integration of all the other sites as far as like iPad and stuff like that. So it's very exciting, and it's a very important part of our ministry is broadcasting. And I'm excited because when I go to the channels, I see all these different churches. And I see all these different videos. I can't make every video, praise God. I barely get my 3 or 4 done a month, and with the radio and with my travel schedule and with my family, I can't be in here in the studio knocking out every video. But you know what? All of us can be put in our part. All of us can do little bits here and little bits there. So I want to encourage you. I want to tell you that join RevMediaTV.com. Just go and look at it. There's a video called The One Package Deal. It's on the front page, one of the featured videos. Please watch that. Tonight's show is going to be great. We're going to be talking to Michael Landon Jr. Michael Landon Jr. is the son of the famous legend, screen legend, Michael Landon. And he's been doing video all his life since he could remember. Well, I'll let him tell you the story while we're talking and discussing things. So sit back, relax. We're going to see what he's doing. He's a film director, he's a writer, he's a producer, and he also written a book that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to see that in just a few minutes. God bless. We'll be right back with Michael Landon Jr. Welcome back to the show. We're here at the ICRS 2013 in St. Louis, and we got a call last week, and actually an email asking us to get. We had a very special guest that I couldn't even say no. I was like, yes, definitely, I'll make some room for him. And it's Mr. Michael Landon Jr. How are you doing, sir?
Excellent. Yourself?
Very good.
Great deal.
I've been a big fan of yours. I told you that before, and
yes, thank you.
You do great work. You carry on a tradition of just good movies and good things that you do, and I'm very glad to know that you're continually moving strong. I tell everybody longevity. Longevity. It doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter how quick you get to a place, but yes, it does matter how long you stay and the quality that's there.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So
I agree.
It's good. Just tell them a little bit about yourself, those that may not know all the things that you do, and then we'll jump into your book and whatever we want to talk about.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Michael Landon Jr. and my father, Michael Landon, was in the business. So I grew up in the film business. He starred in TV series Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven. And so storytelling has been in my blood since I can remember.
Wow. And were you on set a lot?
I was. I grew up on the set. Again, starting in Bonanza those years and being on the Ponderosa and seeing...
Where was that actually shot at?
It was shot at Paramount Studios in Hollywood, yes. Okay. And they did some second unit they did some, well, I should say they did some work in Tucson, in Old Town there, and then a lot of second unit stuff in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe.
Okay. All right, and then also on Little House on the Prairie?
And Little House on the Prairie was actually Simi Valley, which was it's about 45 minutes outside of LA.
All right, so you grew up on the sets and stuff, and
yes,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
And I'm sure you learned a lot from your dad.
I did. I got to see, all facets of filmmaking. So from an early age, 13 years old, I realized I wanted to direct.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So you already knew your calling.
Yes, indeed. Exactly.
Was it difficult for you to start taking on projects, or you just said, I'm going to do it, got the camera crew, and went and took care of it? Or?
No.
Say, Dad, I borrowed the camera, I'm taking the truck.
Yeah, no, didn't do that.
Okay.
Didn't do that. No, it took a lot of years. I went to film school. I was in camera, starting off as a film loader, and was an assistant cameraman for 5 years, which basically means you lug equipment around.
Okay.
And so I did that for 5 years. I've been a production assistant, apprentice editor, did some acting just to see what it was like to be in front of the camera for directing purposes, studied acting with various coaches.
Did you like it?
You know, I did. I mean, I did like it. You have to be extremely passionate to want to be an actor.
Okay.
It's just way too competitive not to be really passionate. You have to be prepared to struggle for years.
Okay.
And have other jobs to support yourself.
And you've made several movies.
I have. I've made about a little over a dozen films.
Wow. And now you have a book. This is your second book?
This is my third book.
Your third book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It is Traces of Mercy.
That is it.
And this is a nice shot. We're going to have a good JPEG on the screen for you right now.
Great.
And tell us about the book. Tell us what caused you, what encouraged you, inspired you to put the book together.
Yeah, well, my writing partner of many years, Cindy Kelly, we wrote an adaptation of the Marjorie Williams classic, The Velveteen Rabbit, together. Okay. And from there we wrote Love Comes Softly, which is an adaptation of a Jeanette Oak novel. And so we've been working together for quite some time now, and this is our second novel together that we co-authored. The Silent Gift being the first one. Okay. And so she came to me with a nugget of an idea, and the way our partnership basically works out is that I'm kind of the storyteller of the team.
Okay.
I lay out all the beats of the story. I break it down. I lay out all the characters, and then she takes the first pass, and then I write behind her. And so she came to me with a little nugget of a story, and I got excited about it. And so Traces of Mercy is set at the tail end of the American Civil War. All right. And it's about our young heroine whose identity is not revealed immediately. She's in a horrific accident, and leaving her unconscious and alone. And when she's found, she can't remember anything. Okay. And so they give her the name Mercy because she was wearing a Mercy medallion when they found her. And like all amnesia patients, they just want to know the truth of their past. And a young, handsome stranger arrives, and he actually might hold a key to her past, but in so doing, it might jeopardize her future and even perhaps end her life. Wow. So that's kind of the setup of the novel. It is a trilogy. It's the first of 3 books. The first of 3. And the story that you want to put out, what did you want the readers to get when they got this first book? Yeah, so I don't really like to tell readers what to get out of out of a book, right? You know. What do you think they might get? Well, it depends on which character they relate to, so depending on that, I mean, obviously, the women will resonate and connect with certain women in this, Mercy being the main protagonist. You know, there's all sorts of ideas that they'll be able to relate to. You know, the sense of feeling lost and alone and not being understood, and you know, and then understanding what by the name suggests what Mercy is all about. No, that's true. That's true. Traces of Mercy. Right. Yes, that's a good caption there. They know that. That's right. They know what that's about. So, how can you compare writing books and making movies? I mean, it's both storytelling. They're both storytelling, exactly. So that's why I decided, you know, let's give this a shot. They're different, completely different process. I mean, with a novel, obviously, you're left alone in a room. And there's obviously that during the screenplay process, but the screenplay only becomes the blueprint, and then you go on to, you know, build the film based on, you know, the hires you make for your crew and your cast. It's much more collaborative in that respect. With this, I do collaborate with one other person, but it's definitely the job is in solitude, and it's hard work. Anybody that's written a novel, even a bad novel, knows that it's a ton of work.
Oh yeah, how long did it take you to put this one together?
That one from the time of almost 2 years.
And how long did it take you to knock out a screenwriter?
That a screenplay.
The screenplay.
Yeah, screenplay varies. I've done a screenplay 3 months. It's probably about the shortest.
That's a big difference.
Yes,
yeah, it is a big difference.
It is.
I mean, because you got to be the total imagination for this entire book. I mean,
yes.
As far as collaboration, you have one other person to bounce things off of. And
yes.
Let's rewrite that. Let's make this go like that.
Right.
So and there's no big reel-to-reel explosions, and so you got to make that imaginable in the reader's form,
yes.
so they can get it and stuff.
Yep.
What's the challenges between the two? I mean, from screenwriting and then from writing a novel, what would you say the biggest challenge for you?
Well, when you make a film, there's multiple challenges. So you have budget concerns, raising the money or pitching it to a studio or a network. You have the assembling of the crew. You're fighting the weather. You're fighting the clock because you have X amount of days to complete your film, or you go over budget.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with 50 to 100 crew members.
It's pretty stressful, it sounds like.
It actually can be.
Mm.
Yeah, it can be. So there's just a lot of things that can go wrong.
So your cost per day production compared to a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the power of a battery to write a book, and your lights that you need so you can see at times, and then usually in
Did
films,
you get more writer block on the book or writer's block on screenwriting? Equal.
I mean, there's obviously a screenplay is 120 pages. A novel is 300 plus.
Yeah.
So you're basically writing 3 screenplays.
Oh wow. What's your expectations of the book as far as people responding to it and stuff? And you've read this to your third one, and
yes,
and it's the third novel.
Third novel.
Okay.
Yep.
So you had a good following on the last 2 novels as well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm still known more for film, TV and film. But that should help carry some fans over. I hope so. I mean, I hope that if they love the storytelling of, let's say, Love Comes Softly, that they'll enjoy this as well.
Did you surprise yourself at any time when you were writing the book?
Yeah, there's surprises.
No, for yourself, for you personally.
Yes, absolutely. You and then there are times where it's pretty depressing too.
I like your scope on life. It's true. It is true. In any type of entertainment productions, anything, you got that high, you got that low.
Yeah, you do.
And it's like even in the stuff that I do here, it just sometimes it's just the best thing, and sometimes it's like I don't want to get up.
That's right. Yeah, just gotta keep plugging away.
Just how it goes. Give everybody your website information. Let them know how they can get the book, but also how they stay in contact with you.
Yeah, my website is michaellandonjr.com, jr.com, and otherwise, I think you can pick up the book.
Yeah.
At your local Christian bookstore or barn. Yeah, the chains.
And it's been released already?
Comes out October 1st.
Okay, October 1st. So you'll be looking out for that. It should be you'll be getting this in your store right about now. And we'll see you later. God bless, man. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the show, and I want to tell you what, Michael Landon Jr. was a very, very, very just humble guy. I met him in the, there's like a little media room that we have out there whenever we do the conferences, and that's where a lot of the press and stuff go with their guests, so they can get like lemonade and tea and coffee and a little bit of snacks. And I always run through there, so I get some breath mints and some candies, and I fill up my lemonade and grab a fruit tray, and I run back to the studio, and to my studio that I have there. I have like a mock studio room that's usually huge, but these rooms were small and they were hot. My studio back home was bigger. Well, the studio I am right now is a lot bigger than what I had. And I tell you what, my friends, when I met him, I was just passing through, and then they go, "Hey, David, this is Michael Landon Jr." And he was so humble. He goes, "Dr. Yanez, so glad to see you. So glad to be a part of what you're doing, and we're excited to be on your show." And this is a guy that I seen grow up in the industry, and just watch him learn from his dad and go on his own. He went to USC. He didn't just take his dad's name and say, hey, I can make movies. No, he paid his price. In fact, I asked him a lot of times, when did he decide he was going to do this and make movies? He said, all my life I want to tell stories, and stories of faith, and he is really gifted. We have a couple of videos that you're going to see in a few minutes. One of them is called The Shunning, and it's one of the newest ones that's going to be released this year off another book that he's been called to direct. And the second one is, I believe it's called The Ultimate Life, and that one is a video that he was the writer and the director in that one. So it's going to be to movies that are being released. In fact, The Ultimate Life is in theaters right now, so you need to go and support that as you can. And then we also have just a small trailer of his book right here. Let's get that desk cam going, and we have a small trailer of this book right here. And ooh, we've got it on the first try. The Traces of Mercy, Michael Landon Jr. And I tell you what, you need to get this book. We're going to show you just a video about it, and just a small video. And this is one of his first books that he put out there. And of course, I got the advanced reader copy, and I think he autographed this. Let me see. Did I get him to autograph this? It's the one at the house. I have two of them. I promise he autographed one of them for me. But either way, we have the book here. We want you to be able to get it. If you write me, I will give you this advanced copy. It's not for resale, so we're not going to ask you to give a gift. But if you want to give a gift, you can, and we'll be able to do great things just with that small gift that you give or whatever you give. But I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy this book. It's the first book in a series that he's writing. I believe 3 more books coming out. So it's Michael Landon Jr. and Cindy Kelly wrote this. Anyway, we're going to be right back with those videos. Enjoy them. God bless. We'll be right back.
Traces of Mercy by Michael Landon Jr. From Michael Landon Jr. and Cindy Kelly, authors of The Silent Gift and creators of the hit television film Love Comes Softly, comes an exciting historical romance set in post-Civil War, and filled with suspense and faith-building values. At the war's end, a young woman suffers an accident that leaves her unconscious and alone. Waking with amnesia, she takes the name Mercy and wants more than anything to find out the truth of her past. To read more about the book, please check out the link in the description box below.
That's the first 10 acres harvested today. Lord Filling, he'll be harnessing up the hay mower next week.
You better. That old draft horse is about to give up the ghost. Smells like heaven. Ma'am must have cooked it.
Benjamin Lamb.
Well, I best get to my own dinner table. See you in the morning, Dad.
Yeah, okay. Good, son. Katie, before we bless the meal, your mom and I have something for you. It's your dowry.
We've been saving it up since you were just a baby.
I'm right proud of you, Katie. Not every man's daughter marries a bishop.
What are me and John Byler going to do with all this money?
Maybe build an extra room onto his house. Draw them grandbabies we pray you'll be bringing us.
We'll be sure to put it to good use.
Invite the bishop and his boys for supper tomorrow, You should all have one more meal together before the big day.
If you're standing here now, it means that not only have you succeeded in receiving all of my gifts, but have done so beyond the boundaries that I have set.
Wow.
Wow, yourself.
Have you told Mr. Billionaire boyfriend about your Haiti plans?
There's this clinic in Haiti. So sorry to interrupt.
Really sorry, Lex. I got it.
Whenever you have a sec.
She's gone, Hamilton.
I'm sure she didn't just decide to move on a whim.
Yeah, well, if you've not noticed, I've been a little busy at the foundation.
The 12 gifts that your grandfather taught you, any idea where they came from?
No.
Well, you're about to find out. He kept the journal from the time he was 15. Maybe you can find something from his past to help you here in the present.
September 3rd, 1941. Someday, I swear to heaven,
I'm gonna be a billionaire.
What are you doing?
Every day, I make a list of 10 things that I'm grateful to God for.
I'll be grateful someday.
You gotta be grateful for the little things in life. Otherwise, you'll never be grateful for nothing.
It's a good-looking post there, Slick.
By the way, name's not Slick. It's Red.
Gus Caldwell. Girls call me Stud.
I'm gonna stick with Gus.
I want to know everything I can about how to be successful, just like you are.
Success takes a lot of things, son. A lot of things working together.
I'm not gonna let you do this.
How can I ever be worthy of getting my share if I'm not willing to go fight for it?
Hey, Slick, stay with me.
Red, looks like this one's dry.
I don't want to hear that.
Why ain't this ranch your son? I want this land.
Not everything is about money, Red.
Everything is about money.
I traded everything that was important to me. It's not too late, Red. What if it is, Hamilton? Your legacy is your family. This is your moment. Your name in lights, you're gonna shine for the world tonight. For the world
Please do not track me. Don't track me in person, don't track me virtually, and don't track me online. Wouldn't it be nice to set those boundaries and make sure they're honored? I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll tell you more in just a moment.
StartPage doesn't store your IP address, make a record of your searches, or use tracking cookies, and they're third-party certified. StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
We're tired of being watched when we surf the internet. In response, lawmakers have introduced a number of bills to rein in tracking and profiling through computer code known as cookies. While cookies are a serious privacy problem, special privacy cookies could be part of the solution. Just like you might fight fire with fire, privacy cookies could fight invasive practices by signaling which consumers prefer not to be tracked and profiled. In the same way the Do Not Call list put an end to annoying dinner-time marketing calls, a Do Not Track cookie could put an end to online data grabs. We need to rise up and demand our privacy. It's not only possible, it's about time. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Created using Powtoon.
Welcome back to the show, and we're excited about Michael Landon Jr. Like I said, he was a very humble guy, and it was good to see a man of that stature, of that demand. I mean, he's made, I would say, hundreds of different types of scripts and movies, and now into books, and it's a good thing to have him. You know, I want to talk to you just for a few minutes today, just about something setting well in your spirit. If you looked at the last video that came on, that was about Rev Video TV and the new platform that we have. You know, I've had this platform for, I don't know, maybe 2 years. 2011 is when we started, in September, I think. When it was finally delivered, everything was November, December of that year. In 2012, I had all these dreams and ambitions saying it's going to grow so big, it's going to make things so much easier to broadcast and stuff. And I put the package like everybody else, you know, had packages and stuff for their streaming and stuff like that. And I was already helping churches with Rev Media Network, but I wanted some state of the art. And God miraculously brought the money in and even brought everything together that we needed. And the payments that we had to pay it off. It cost us several $1,000s, and we made this investment. And almost a full year and a half, there was no activity at all. And going on the second year now, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, you know what? What can we do? What can we do to fix it? What can we do to make it right, to make this well? Because I start looking at it, and I had a good friend, a good pastor friend, that just thought my price was too high, and it was $100. And I was like, well, I don't know what else I can say, because I'm looking at everything else everyone's offering, and I'm just trying to, you know, keep below the standard of what the prices are without having to get myself in a jam monthly. And I looked at it, and I said, well, let me go pray about it. I took 4 days to go and pray. And I didn't just lay on the bed the whole day. I like praying on the bed. That just works for me. Sometimes I fall asleep. Oh well, but it works for me. And I tell you what, I took about 4 days here and there. Didn't do much activity. Took care of what needed to be taken care of in ministry and stuff in business. But then I just sat there and I pondered things and I looked at things and I said, Lord, this just doesn't set well in my spirit. It's not sitting well. How can I fix this? What can I do? And after 4 days of seeking God, now the Bible says you seek Him, you will find Him. If you ask Him, He will answer. And I stood there and I just kept doing my daily works of stuff that I had to get done. But then I had to really put myself out there in prayer and just leave it in God's hand. Not rushing, not making things different, trying to change things, but let's see what God has. And what happened was this, my friends. I was able to look back and say, you know what, God, this is what you want me to do. Make a one package deal. Make it happen to where everyone can afford everything for one small price, and I'll work off volume to be a blessing. The minute I changed that, do you know what? We doubled our income. With the current people that we had, we doubled our income. And just from Rev Media Network to Rev Media TV, it doubled. And then now the channel stuff is just adding up and people are coming in. And what I thought was going to be impossible to get the upgrades and the monthly payments to where we need to be a full service streaming platform, made it easy. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you, my friends, when something doesn't set well, and it's a good thing, and it's a good idea, and you know God called you to it, but it's just not taking off, you're going to have to take some time to pray. You have to take some time to sit before God. You're going to have to take some time to get away from your busy life. And you may not be able to break off 4 days in a row, but you may be able to do like I did and just take one day at a time and pray and mess with all the business stuff you got to do and just get before God. I want to encourage you. I want to tell you to pray. Join us on our next show. We're going to have Christy Ziegler. You're going to enjoy her. God bless you. We'll be right back on another great day on Thursday. God bless you. Take care.
The views and opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of this station, this show, or its host.